Hello, boo. It's me again. I've literally got so much done, but physically I haven't gotten anywhere. Anyway, holy fucking shit. This is a crazy chat that I'm getting into. Sorry. I don't even know where to start with this one. So, along with a bunch of other stuff that I do on the side, I have been digging into my mediumship, and I say that loosely, okay, because I'm not like, I stopped reading books. I stopped looking for answers from other people in my industry, if you want to call it that, or my skill level, or can do what I do. I stopped looking at other people. I stopped asking questions because I was like getting really like, it was getting complicated with the amount of information coming at me, and everybody has different levels of gifts or whatever, and everybody has different things that create, you know, different strengths in their abilities, and I don't feel like, you know, anything crazy is going to come out of my gifts. Like, I don't feel like I can move objects with my mind. I don't feel like I can pick the winning lottery numbers. I don't feel like I can, like, walk in a room and like say something's missing from a dead ancestor and I'll be like, let me tune in and find it for you. It doesn't work like that. I've just been learning to just try to decipher what they're saying to me. Because creating your own language with whoever you're working with, whether it's spirits, angels, your spirit guides, you know, ghosts, whatever you are communicating with, there's not just one barrier, there's not just 10 barriers, it's like a whole kaleidoscope of realms between us, and you can only see flashes between those things turning, so you don't get the full picture all the time. It's very hard to explain how channeling happens, and every single one of my guides has like their own lingo, their own way of speaking to me. When I walk into an investigation, majority of my time there is just learning that if there is a spirit, if there is anything there to connect with, trying to decipher what it's about, how it communicates, and what it's trying to say, and what it's trying to say, what it wants, why it's connecting here, why this house, why the people. And everything's internal. I don't have tools. I would like to invest in tools. There's some of the tools that I feel, I like to be old school when I do bring things. Like, I have worked, there was like a old, I don't even know if you'd call it like a mental hospital, because it was just a private house for the insane, but it was like way back in the day, so it's actually a normal sized, like, I guess a little bit bigger of a house. It could be considered a mansion, but it was very run down, and there was said to be a lot of kids trapped there, that they were killed, like mentally ill, killed because nobody wanted to deal with them. Like a really sad story, and they were having issues and they wanted to rebuild this property into something successful, so they were looking for a medium to come in and try to communicate, try to make peace, or try to get rid of these things. So I knew I was going in there 2 levels. Evil things always produce themselves as innocent victim or children. So whenever children are involved, whenever children are reported, and I immediately tune in and put my guard up, because it's very, very actually uncommon for a child spirit to be unaccompanied in their spiritual realm. Children don't get left behind because of the mental capacity that they are. They do have a free will and a choice, however. If they die away from their parents, they could wander looking for their parents for a very long time and not understand. I think it's very possible. But through that journey for that little soul, there's always an angel, lingering. There's always a soul trying to guide, or another soul that they stick to. Like they might bond with another spirit that's here earthbound, and they don't want to leave without that person, so that person's not ready to leave, so the child stays. That's very possible. But it's very, very unlikely that a place is only haunted by children, and that the children are very rarely evil, and they play pranks because they're children. I have been on cases like that where teenagers had died, and their love language was playing pranks, but it was never anything scary or life-threatening. And it was always something, it started with fear, but once they realized the nature and were able to communicate using other aspects, all that menacing stuff stopped. It's the miscommunication that gets the living and the spiritual in a war in the first place. So it was a while ago. I went into this building. I brought toys, things that play music, kickballs, all different levels of balls. A tennis ball, a kickball, a bouncy ball, a hacky sack, different weights, different sizes, different textures, because if you just bring a kickball and there's a slight breeze and that ball moves across the room, it could be quickly debunked. However, if you have a hacky sack that's weighted down with beans inside and that's picked up and moved, that's more evident. Electronics that just go off by themselves if you leave it. I like to keep it easy for them because you never know the level of technology that a spirit had. And I always say, like, this is a piano. If you press buttons, it makes noise and lights up. This is a way for you to communicate. Once for no, twice for yes. I'll say that. I'll bring flashlights that they can click a button on. I'll bring radios and just let the static play. And see, if I don't really like spirit boxes because I feel like they're easily manipulated. But if you bring in genuine just white noise, there have been a few instances, granted those cases were demonic, but it was able to use that. Anyway, so I went into the space and I had all these things out. Very simple tools. I'm not coming in there with, you know, electronic measurements. I'm a person. I'm a human being, and I simply state, I'm here. My name's Lizzie. I am just a translator between you and the residents of this house. I won't be here for very long. You are not allowed to attach yourself to me or come with me, but I am here as your asset to help you either remain in this property in peace for you and the living, help you find a better place to go, or help the people in this house understand why you are still here. Or maybe you need your story told. Maybe something bad happened to you and you never got closure. Let me help you, help us in the now understand. I don't mean you any disrespect. I don't mean you any harm. I'm not going to come in here and do a seance. I'm not going to come in here and invade your space. In every room, I say, my name's Lizzie. I'm entering. I wish you peace. I'm not a harm to you. I'm just trying to understand. I'm trying to communicate. If you want to communicate with me, great. If you don't, you do not have to. Just don't harm me. Don't push me. Don't do anything of harm to me. Just let me pass. And for the most part, they do. If they don't want to communicate, they leave me alone. I can still sense them, but I 100% communicate that they don't want to talk. They don't want to tell their story, and it's none of your fucking business. But anyway, I was in this, and I 100% in my gut believe that it was demonic. I believe that the children were released a long time ago. I believed it was the one that killed the children. I ended up being right. They went through 4 mediums, and I had my checkup email. The last time I went, it has been 6 months without a single problem. And here I am questioning my gifts, questioning if this is possible, questioning if I brought anything back with me when I came back to life. And I gotta stop questioning myself. Every day, God shows me how real this really is and what my purpose is. And it scares me a lot, but I'm also excited. I'm just glad I could help both the spirit and the living. Don't give up on your gifts. Okay?